How's the situation at Fort Hood? Is it things improving at all?
Well, in Fort Hood, the tragedy, of course, is the loss of some of our soldiers, and we're still looking for some others. But that is one of the examples of the way in which the rising water in Texas can sweep away vehicles, even those driven by soldiers. And so our main message as we continue to have rising water across the state of Texas over the remainder of the weekend is that people need to protect their lives and do not drive into these rising waters. If you look at our state, the worst problem for the remaining several days is going to be in the southern part of the state, just outside of the Houston area in what's called Fort Bend County and Brazoria County. It's the bottom area where the Brazos River is overflowing, completely flooding, hitting homes and people that people thought would never get flooded again. And people need to remain vigilant. They must follow the rules about not driving around cordoned off areas. As you were pointing out, vehicles are being swept away and water rescues are having to take place because people are driving into rising waters.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, is there going to be any additional state or federal aid moving into those areas as a result of the continued deteriorating conditions, especially, like you said, down the Gulf Freeway, the Brazos River, as we continue to see these floodwaters rise?
Right. As governor, I declared a disaster for 31 counties. There may be more added to that. After the state disaster declaration, then we work with FEMA to work on the aid that can be brought. More immediately, however, the aid that we are providing at the state level are tools and resources such as water rescue and other ways in which we can save lives. For the next 24, 48 hours, the most important thing we must focus on is saving lives first. Then we will get to the process of restoring property.
Oh, absolutely. And like you said, it's all about people. If you see standing water on the roadways, the best thing you can do is turn around, don't drown, especially at night when the visibility gets low from the darkness anyways. Flooding can sneak up on you. So everybody needs to be absolutely aware of their position and where they're going at night. And it's best really not to try to travel at night in some of these flooded areas at all.
Well, exactly right. And what we've seen all too often is too many people get out at night. So our advice also for the next 24, 48 hours, especially in the coastal Bend region, if you do not need to be out on the road, don't go out there because even when the rain stops, and understand this, there will be periods over the next day or two when the rain stops. But the water will continue to rise. The floods will continue to rise and can sneak up on you. Be very careful and be very vigilant when you are out driving around.
Oh, absolutely. Like you said, when you have a flash flood, that's flooding occurring right now. But with the river flooding, it's kind of a post-reaction setup. In other words, you get the heavy rainfall, it fills the basin up, and then the flooding occurs a little bit later. So that can sneak up on you, like you were saying. Even if it stopped raining, the rivers still could go into flood very easily as we're getting that volumetric push of water downstream into those areas that have been flooded and seen a lot of rain.
Exactly right. And see, because of all the upland rivers are flooded, that flood is just streaming down into the lower regions. And the Brazos River, especially in the lower regions by the Gulf of Mexico, will continue to rise over the next few days.
All right, good advice. Governor Greg Abbott, thank you very much for the interview.
Thank you.
And as you can see,